Hi, my name is Michelle, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to achieve this cut crease look in easy to follow steps. Come along and let's recreate this look together. So I begin by just applying a very thin base, and you just blend that out till it's nice and smooth. As you can see, I put on a really thin layer. I'm not really a fan of putting on a thick layer. I find that the thinner the layer, the less prone it is to cracking. You know, moments where your eyeshadow cracks, sometimes it's because you have too much concealer, which results in you having to pack on more of the eyeshadow on top of it to have it set. So having a thinner layer is more ideal, and it also helps with preserving your product as well. So you don't want to overuse the product. So I'm just going in with one more since my concealer, one more layer. I'm still gonna thin it out since my concealer was sitting on my eye for a bit as I was doing the one side. So you just blend that out completely, and once that's blended, I'm gonna then go in and we're gonna start building up our cut crease look. So I begin by taking this angled brush of mine. It's quite fluffy. So we're gonna go into this palette right here, this purple, and it's really nicely pigmented. I got it from my local Chinese beauty supply store. So I got this palette and I just am obsessed with the pigmentation on it. So first of all, we're gonna start by packing this purple on to the eye. So I begin this way. As you can see, it's angled downward, and I begin right here at the corner, and then I'm gonna pack on the color, meaning I'm not gonna blend as of yet. So I just pack on all the way around. So my crease, as you can see, the level of the crease on this side is gonna be here, meaning that this is the outline where I'm gonna be packing my purple color right outside. You don't pack any inside here because that's where we're going to be cutting the crease. So you pack it all the way around. So you take your brush and you're just literally dabbing that purple on there, and you just work your way all the way around. Okay, so I'm going to use my mirror to make sure the placement is correct because it's kind of hard to use the camera for this step. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to get the general shape accurate. And I'm going to use the tip to help me pack this curved part here. It's just more ideal to do things using that tip. And I pack it all the way around till I achieve this shape. So you pack, you pack, you pack it, you pack it. And then once I feel happy with the general shape, I take this and I dust it off. So I dust off all this excess powder, all of it, get it all off. Right now I'm using my fingers because it's more simple. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tip right here and I'm going to go out on the edge and begin to blend out this whole edge all the way around here in small circular motions to kind of give that blend that we have here. So in small circular motions, I'm going to blend out the edge of it. With blending, you want to take your time and you want to make sure that you don't over blend, that this purple ends up going all the way here. We want to keep this general shape, so you kind of blend it in place, making sure as not to have the color reaching beyond the shape we've already drawn in. Okay, so you're just going to literally in small circular motions begin to blend that out. Can you see? And that's how you blend. So I'm kind of using back and forth, but kind of also circular. It kind of looks like I'm going back and forth, but I'm kind of dragging the circles as such. Can you see that blend? Compare that part to where we started blending. And can you see how it's not reaching all the way till here? It's staying within the boundaries that we've established. And that's how you are going to continue blending all the way till the front. You take your time, you just go back. I'm going to work all the way till the front. Same idea all the way through. See how that blends seamlessly. And you want to be light. You're not pressing the brush as much for blending. You kind of use that tip and you have this kind of light feathered motion. Can you see how the brush is pressing? So you don't blend like that. That will move too much product. But lightly, blending in just small little circular motion as you go along. And that's how you blend. So going back, now that I've shown you guys how to really blend properly, you just carry on blending out that outer edge. Now I'm kind of just going right there and just kind of perfecting my blend. You don't want to over blend as well. As you can see, there's the concentrated area and there's that little light blend that we have, but it's not overly blended because we have quite a concentrated look that we're going for. So I kept the purple concentrated by lightly blending just those outer parts. So those small circular motion little circles that I showed you guys. So we're not over blending this. So this is enough. Now I'm going into this purple here. Kind of looks like navy, but it's a very dark purple. You can have like a comparison. This is the first purple that we used, and I'm going in with this one. So there is a bit of a difference if you just look between the two. So this is just to darken the purple a little bit because I just think it looks more beautiful. I like a cut crease that has a darkened exterior as opposed to it being overly blended. I love the aesthetic of it. Pigment, pigment, pigment. And so I'm using this edge again of the brush to pick up product, and we just again I'm gonna pack it. So I'm gonna pack it from here at the corner. So on camera it doesn't pick up as well, but if you see this in person, you see the difference. And you're gonna go all along, lightly packing. See, we're not blending, we're just packing that darker purple on to the eye area. You just keep packing it all the way around, all the way. See that? See how we're packing that darker purple. That blend that we did earlier on is just there, slightly just sitting there. Just packing it neatly. As neat as I possibly can. Don't worry about these outer edges. We're going to clean that a bit later, hence why I still have my powder. So any fall off falls on this part and then I can just dust that off. But I'm happy with the general shape that I have achieved here with this look. So the next leg of this cut crease is cutting our crease. So for this step, I have a hack that I want to share with you guys. If you have an eyelash curler of your own, grab it and join me. So what I'm going to do is I have already put some concealer on my wrist. See this part specifically where it curves? I'm going to dip it in like so, lightly, ensuring that it doesn't go beyond, because you need it to be quite smoothened out. I want to make sure it's a thin layer, like a thin little layer, just like that. So then I take this beginning part and I'm going to place it right here, and then I'm going to stamp my cut crease. So literally I'm going to place it, then stamp it on when I'm happy with how it's angled, and I'm sure that it matches the other side. So I'm going to use my mirror because I really need this to be symmetrical. Once that is done, that little line, I take a flat brush and we're going to drag that line down. So from where it is, I'm going to keep dragging that down and then filling this part in with concealer. So I'm going to have to use my mirror for this step again for the precision. So once you've done that line, just drag it down. If I need to again to use my mirror for this step. So I'll catch you guys once I've filled in this part. So I have spread out the concealer all over the area that I cut out in this cut crease, and as you can see, I have also a very thin layer. You want to make sure it's thin and even all throughout. Okay, sharpen it, and then I'm gonna tap all through, and that's how your crease is cut. Okay, and now I'm gonna go in with this small concentrated brush, and I'm gonna go into this palette again, this little mint green color, and I'm gonna start packing on this green eyeshadow, the green color. So the reason why we use a smaller brush is because it's more concentrated, it picks up product easier, not really meant for blending, for packing on. So since this part of your crease, we're packing on color and not really blending. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and I pack that on. So it's a tap in place. So I start from the center and I walk towards the beginning. I leave this area because a lot of blending is going to take place there. So again, you take your color, pack by tapping it on all throughout the starting point. Pick up product, pack. And this is what we're going to do until I'm satisfied with the amount that's applied on there, literally till it looks like that side. So packing on and ridding the space of the white concealer. So concealer helps for color to sit on the eyelid. It acts as a kind of a glue, you know. That's why we use concealer for cutting our crease, and you don't just pack on color as such, and you don't even have to worry about the little green that goes there because the purple is already there. When I use a clean brush to just dust off any of it that goes there. Okay, so I packed that on, and now I'm happy with how that's packed on. Okay, what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna go back into this palette, and if you look over here, there's a very light kind of lavender color. I'm gonna go into that color again, just pick it up. go right here where the green is and pat that on. I'm kind of bringing that into where the green is. See? These little light patting motions are what ensure a nice blend. So I'm going to use my mirror here on the side as well to make sure that I'm happy with how. Okay. So pat pat in there. So I'm going to take that pat in there. Okay. Pat. Go into the green again, dust off the purple. I'm going to use the same brush. Go into that green, kind of bring that on top of that lavender color. And this is how you ensure a blend. You kind of pack colors on top of each other. It gives you a well blended aesthetic. Okay. Patting that on top of this kind of lavender color. So bringing that green into this lavender. Where I may see any harshness, I just pack the green on top. Now I take the lavender and I bring it back into this purple. Right there. Bring it down here in a little bit. And then I'm going to take that very dark purple that we used and I'm going to close off this blend by bringing that in. You could have skipped the step of using this kind of lavender purple. I just find having like a little transitional shade to use between the two helps. So I usually take a lighter variation of this darker. So I use a lighter variation to just help to mend the two edges together. You could just go from the green directly into the dark purple. It's absolutely up to you. I'm going back into the green. It's completely up to you. I think the more practice you have, the more you're going to figure out how it is exactly that you love doing this. I'm just showing you guys how it is exactly that I do mine and ensure a beautiful blend. Just packing that green again. I'm going into like that little purple, the light lavender, to make sure I'm happy with how everything is blending together. You know, it's really, use your own discretion. When you're happy with the blend, then you're done going back into that darker to make sure. And I think I'm just about happy with how that's all blended out. So now I take a plain brush that doesn't have anything on it. I'm just gonna dust off this edge here where there's some product that fell there. You're dusting off, and then where I told you here in the beginning, I'm gonna dust off that excess green as well. So lightly kind of just dusting it off. Okay, and there we are. And that's our little cut crease moment that we have done on the other side. I'm gonna go in with this white eyeliner just for a pop of creativity. I just love how it looks. I'm gonna draw that in. You can skip the step should you wish. It's not a must. It's according to personal preference. Okay, now the next step is to apply mascara. That step is so important because it ensures that you get rid of the eyeshadow that's fallen onto your lashes. Do not skip this step when wanting to apply lashes, okay?